The Dallas Cowboys entered the 1980 season with lofty ambitions, but without a number of veteran starters, including Cliff Harris and Roger Staubach. Thus, experts relegated the team to the unaccustomed role of also-rans in the NFC East. But the Cowboys are creatures of habit, and their habit is winning. The names may change, but this mighty river keeps on rolling. While observers predicted a third-place finish in the division and found few reasons for their 14th trip to the playoffs in 15 seasons, there was no air of the underdog in Dallas. The Cowboys always seem to travel in neutral until December, when they employ another gear that puts them into championship drive. In 1980, this drive took them farther than many thought possible. The NFC Championship game at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
High formation in the backfield. The handoff goes to over Montgomery. Big hole. 30. He's going to score at the 20, the 10.
Not much went right for Dallas on this day, and the Eagles defeated the Cowboys 20-7. A season is composed of dreams. For the Dallas Cowboys, their last dream was a nightmare.
Go Eagles! Yeah!
The challenge began for Tom Landry the day Roger Staubach retired. For more than a decade, Staubach was an extension of the coach in the huddle. Now came a man more accustomed to carrying a clipboard than carrying a team.
If there was anybody I would like to copy myself after, it would probably be Roger, but I'm not going to try to do that. If it turns out that way, fine. But I'm going to do the things that Danny White does best and do them the way that I do them the best and not worry about that. The comparisons will come and the criticisms will come based on what Roger did, and I realize that.
No longer the understudy, but the star. Danny White threw the most touchdown passes in Cowboy history. Under White, the Cowboys exposed weakness by exploring the whole field. Number 11 relied on the adage, you take what the defense gives you, a radical departure from the gambling nature of Roger Staubach.
Roger was such a great competitor. He believed he could do things when the odds were a little bit against him. You won't find Danny White doing that. Danny White has a great grasp of offense, very intelligent quarterback. He reads keys extremely well, so he's going to be moving the ball according to what the defense is saying to him.
Whatever the defense said to him was quickly translated into touchdowns. The Cowboys scored the most points in the NFL and the most in their history because of White's ability to read the intent and flow of a defense, then react to it and find the open receiver. What White had to prove was something Staubach usually delivered, victory in a game that seemed hopelessly lost. This came in St. Louis with 46 seconds remaining.
Up and down set on 4th and 5. John Fitzgerald snaps it back. White has it. He's got time, goes deep in the end zone for Tony Hill. Up for grabs, caught, touchdown! Tony Hill on 4th and 5, touchdown Cowboys!
With victory, the ghost of Roger Staubach vanished from the Dallas Cowboys offense. There was a ghost story on defense, and it haunted the team for most of 1980. With the retirement of All-Pro Cliff Harris and an injury to Benny Barnes, leadership of the Doomsday defense was shouldered by Charlie Waters. Number 41 sought to bring order to a unit that played one of the most complicated systems in pro football. Complexity often breeds confusion. Leaks in a totally rebuilt secondary were plugged by the veteran safety. With Waters leading the way, Charlie's Angels stuck their fingers into the dike. The end result was that youngsters like Steve Wilson, Dennis Thurman, Anthony Dickerson, Dexter Clinkscale, and number 34, Aaron Mitchell, created turnovers in such numbers the team doubled their figures of a year ago. While the fortunes of the secondary fluctuated like the stock market, the front seven were solid blue chips. Linebackers Bob Brunick, D.D. Lewis, and number 58, Mike Hegman, were rarely fooled, and the front four made passing foolhardy. The Cowboys racked up 43 sacks, and for the 8th straight season, the leader was number 79, Harvey Martin. Doomsday became even more frightening with the return of a prodigal son, Ed Too Tall Jones, number 72.
I think he's probably better shape than he's been in before. He trained hard all last year for boxing, and this helped him, his reflexes as well as his conditioning. And I think he's got a clearer mind. I think he's got a more intent of being a football player. When he was with us before, I don't think he ever thought he wanted to be a football player. He wanted to be something else, and he ended up boxing. But now he's resigned himself to the fact he's a football player.
The added dimension of Too Tall Jones turned the rush line into one of the best in pro football. Arguably, the greatest lineman in the game was Randy White, number 54. No player can spot fear, anxiety, weakness, a lessening of resolve faster than White, and no one takes quicker advantage of it. He falls on opponents like an avalanche, or grinds them into the turf like cigarette butts. He accomplishes all this despite being double-teamed on every play. Examining Randy's style, notice that for small backs, he employs a hammer. For the Rams' 235-pound Cullen Bryant, he turns that hammer into a sledgehammer. Like the postman, nothing keeps Randy White from his appointed rounds. Perhaps one play sums up White's desire. After rushing the quarterback, number 54 chased down Scott Fitzke, number 81, the former schoolboy sprint champion of Pennsylvania. Randy White is a hunter, and teammates can make a career scavenging after the remains of his hits. With White as their catalyst, the Doomsday defense scored 4 touchdowns and nudged the Cowboys closer to their 15th straight winning season. The hallmark of the Cowboy offense was finesse and perfect execution, a mix that resulted in their possessing the football 5 more quarters than any team in the NFL. They devised a variety of ways to attack a defense, and they all led to the end zone. Ron Springs' number 20 was an explosive player, but the quickest path to 6 points was taken by Tony Dorsett, who became the first player in NFL history to rush for 1,000 yards in each of his first 4 seasons. In fact, every year since his sophomore season in high school, number 33 has gained 1,000 yards. Dorsett is a spinning top, whirling and twirling, wheeling and dealing, turning heads and twisting tacklers. If Dorsett displays the dazzle of a disco dancer, then Robert Newhouse, number 44, is your basic rock and roll runner. Tackling him is harder than knocking a tank off its treads. Newhouse is the kind of back who looks for a crowd, then joins it. Balance in the Cowboy offense was reflected by 26 rushing touchdowns and 30 passing scores. At the flanks stood number 80, Tony Hill, and number 88, Drew Pearson, the twin towers of the Cowboys' passing attack. Drew Pearson's meticulous patterns placed him precisely in the right spot at the right time and made him the Cowboys' all-time leading receiver. Tony Hill's catches are jewels, and in 1980 he strung together a necklace of 60 of them, worth 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. The setting for all this excitement lies just outside Dallas, Texas Stadium, the Bermuda Triangle of the National Football League. In these glamorous surroundings, the Dallas Cowboys did not lose a football game. Opposing teams found it far easier to march into Texas Stadium than march out. In the triangle, hopes and victories vanished without a trace. The only rain that fell here was a shower of touchdowns that dropped into the hands of Butch Johnson and Billy Joe Dupree. The Cowboys have been called computerized and criticized for doing things by the numbers. The numbers, however, were staggering. Fancy footwork is the trademark of Raphael Septien. In the triangle, every Cowboy danced some new steps.
To his left, pulls up, being chased by Ed Jones. Jones has him. It's intercepted by John Dutton. Dutton is heading for the goal line. He will score. John Dutton, the Cowboy tackle, touchdown.
The most gratifying moment at Texas Stadium was provided by the man they call Bubba.
Kruzak has it. No blitz coming. He is hit. The ball is intercepted by Larry Cole. Here's the Cowboys defensive tackle with a touchdown. Larry Cole has done it again. 44 yards for the a guy who has made a specialty of scoring against the Washington Redskins. Old Bubber ends an 11-year drought. He hadn't scored against them since 1969.
The most dramatic turnaround came at the expense of the high-scoring Chargers. Trailing by 10 points at the half, the Cowboys and the Triangle swallowed up San Diego.
White play action. Rolls out. There's nobody open. He's going to have to freelance it. He flips it out for Seldy at the 15. Seldy going right. Seldy at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Cowboys!
Their gaudy record at Texas Stadium and a victory at Oakland helped keep the Cowboys in the thick of the fight with the Eagles for the NFC Eastern title. But their drive to a championship appeared to burn out in Los Angeles. After this shocking loss, the Cowboys needed reinforcement of their championship stature. This came in a showdown with the Eagles on the season's final week.
Good play, good play, good play. Blitz, 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 blitz.
Danny White 5 yards back. Maximum blitz. Fires it into the end zone. Preston Pearson, touchdown!
The Cowboys not only needed to win the game, but needed to win it by 25 points to ensure the Eastern title. The Cowboys ultimately fell 17 points short of the title, even though both teams owned identical 12-4 records. They had made the playoffs and earned the respect of Dick Vermeil.
I think Dallas Cowboys are a super football team. A super football team. And they very well could be a Super Bowl football team. They're very, very well coached. They're very talented. And they have a lot of class.
It was victory with vengeance in the wild card playoff as the offensive line of Cooper, Rafferty, Shaw, Fitzgerald, Scott, and Donovan unleashed Tony Dorsett on the Rams.
Danny White has it. Hand off Dorsett to the 10. Goes to the outside. 5. Touchdown!
Happiness was a team record 338 yards rushing, 160 of them by Dorsett.
Come on, Tony!
At the 5, driving touchdown!
Oh, that's a great individual move.
The team that in September appeared so vulnerable became what they have always been, the boys of winter, a time of the year when Lady Luck is always on their side.
Shotgun formation, White back at the 40. Rams 11 men up on the line. Maximum blitz is coming. Danny reads it, goes deep for Butch Johnson, has it at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown!
Revenge was sweet. The Cowboys won everything there was to win, using every way there is to win.
Good afternoon, everybody, from Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Playoff action this afternoon. The surprising Dallas Cowboys against the champions of the NFC West, the Atlanta Falcons. This Dallas Cowboy football team, a team in transition. They had lost Cliff Harris, the all-pro free safety. They had lost their starting quarterback, Captain America Roger Staubach, Danny White to replace him. They had a very young secondary, but somehow they have all come together, and they finished with a rush the final 2 weeks of the year, defeating Philadelphia, then defeating Los Angeles to earn the right to come here, and they should play well this afternoon. Bartkowski has him back at the line, 3 wide receivers in the lineup. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Bartkowski back to throw. Blitz is coming again. Bartkowski is going deep, has Jenkins wide open at the 20, at the 10, at the 5, touchdown.
Although the Falcons were the Cinderella team, it was the Cowboys who were dancing toward midnight as deep in the last quarter they trailed 27-17. But they have known great discouragement and swift revival in the past. When their tanks read empty, the Cowboys open reserves of spirit and inspired plays. Drew Pearson's spectacular touchdown catch narrowed the lead to 3 points, 27-24. In past seasons, the Cowboys always looked to number 12, Roger Staubach. With 49 seconds remaining, the savior of the season wore number 11. His name, Danny White.
Come the Cowboys, still with 49 seconds to go. Ball at the 23, 27-24. Danny White with one running back. Here comes the blitz again. Danny back to throw into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Drew Pearson, the Cowboys wide receiver. And Roger Staubach, who threw to Drew so many times, just turned around and said, I don't believe it.
The 30-27 comeback victory was deja vu, an instant replay of 1975 and the Hail Mary catch against the Minnesota Vikings. No longer can the Cowboys be accused of being chiseled out of cold steel. In 1980, they marched toward a future as glorious as their past. They are a team which has grown by the leap of one new star past another. A team that rolls along like a mighty river.